Chris Wragge, though, is spending the morning in Joplin, Missouri, where students are gearing up for the first day back at school nearly 3 months after that deadly, devastating tornado ravaged their town.
Yeah.
Chris, good morning.
Erica, good morning to you again. You talk about a place that's just looking for some positive signs. This is a huge positive sign, the fact that they are headed back to school today. A signature date, August 17th. It's been circled ever since the tornado struck back on May 22nd. Now, when we were here 3 months ago, we met all sorts of people, all affected in different ways. Heather Marsh was one woman that really stood out to us. Heather lost everything. Her house was right in the path of that 200-mile-per-hour tornado that ripped through parts of Joplin. The only thing that survived, Heather and her son Hayden. So 3 months later, we decided to check in with the two of them to see exactly how they're doing.
But you never really think it's going to happen to you. And then it hits, and it hits hard.
When the fast-moving storm bore down on Joplin, Heather Marsh grabbed her son Hayden and ran to the safest place she could think of, the bathtub.
I lay my son down on, like, between my legs, and I'm sitting up, my body hunched over him. And you can hear the wind inside the house, and you can start feeling the whole house shake.
After 20 terrifying minutes, Heather and Hayden were alive, but trapped.
I got to my phone, and I just start texting everybody. I'm like, help us, help us.
She used her cell phone as a beacon.
The guy had been behind me, and he seen the light of my cell phone. He goes, I see a light, and I'm like, that's my phone, that's my phone.
And neighbors quickly came to their aid.
We were underneath all of that. The roof, all of that was on top of us. You can tell this was the kitchen, Hayden.
This is Heather's home now, her neighborhood, 3 months after the storm, and all that's left is an empty concrete slab.
When you see this now, I mean, what comes to mind?
Fear, along with, I'm glad I'm alive to see it again, to be honest.
These past 3 months have been tough for Heather and Hayden, but she's committed to returning here.
It takes some money, it just takes a lot of saving up, and I would really like to live here. I was quite happy.
Yeah.
Life was good.
She remains optimistic about the future of her town.
It's gone. I mean, it's all gone. What do you think? Are people going to come back? Is this place ever going to return to the Joplin of old?
I think so. I mean, honestly, Joplin, not soon afterwards, they picked up and said, you know what? We got to get this clean. We got to get our people back. They want us to come home.
Yeah.
We want to come home.
Heather refuses to dwell on that awful day last spring.
What's the point of living in the past? You can't change it. So you just got to keep going forward and do that. You got to smile and say, okay, bring it on.
What's your source of inspiration?
My son, little man.
Yeah.
I got to keep going for him. I can't stop.
Joplin is showing signs of new life in bloom, and Heather and Hayden are focused on a brighter tomorrow.
Is there any light at the end of the tunnel, do you see?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's there, very tiny, but I can see it. It'll get better. It gets better every day. You have to have faith.
You talk about a tough woman. I mean, she has been through so much. She's got some health issues with some of her other family members. Her father has cancer. It's just been a very difficult road. And Eric, I don't know if you saw that one shot that we had right there in the line that I used about in bloom, that beautiful bush that's out in front of where her house used to be. She said, that was one of my favorite bushes. I loved that pink color so much. I painted my walls in my house to match that bush. She said, if that bush can come back, I can one day come back. And that's the way she genuinely feels.
She is clearly an incredible woman, and what a lucky little man Hayden is to have such a strong, positive mom. How is he holding up? Because obviously this takes a major toll on kids.
Erica, you bring up a great point there. He is so thrilled to be going back to school today. That's the upside. The downside is he is terrified of even dark clouds, any type of storm activity. And he's been spending the summer in Oklahoma. We know how stormy it gets there as well with Heather's sister. So he's back here in Joplin, but she says it just scares the daylights out of him every time any type of storm clouds roll in. So that's going to be a reoccurring issue. That's something that they're going to have to tackle down the road. But she says he is the one thing that pushes her through each and every day. She could have easily quit and just kind of left and said, that's it. But he is the one thing that she's her driving force.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like she would have quitting in her nature either. Chris, thanks. We'll check in with you again in just a little bit.
No, you got it.